Welcome back to the channel. I'm Julie with Destination Fulltime, and today we have a bunch of lovely ladies that are here to tell you all about full-time RV living. Full-time, most time, sometime, all of it. We've covered all of it.
We sold our house along with almost everything we owned, and we packed up the RV to live a lifestyle on the road. Now we're free from sticks and bricks and that old life we used to know. Come and join on our adventures, all the places that we'll go. And living in the RV is sublime. Destination Fulltime.
So we're going to go around the room and everyone's going to tell you their name and what kind of RVer they are, because we have brought you a plethora of different kinds of RVers. So Cheryl's going to start us out.
Hi, I'm Cheryl. We are full-time and have been full-time for 3 years now. Florida in the winter and traveling around over summer.
Hi, I'm Denise, and I'm a part-time RVer. We do a lot of traveling all over.
Hi, I'm Angie. We were full-time for 3 years. Then my crazy husband wanted to mow grass, and we bought a house. And I think we're going to go full-time again in the summer, because that's the way I want it to be.
That's right.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Lori. We're snowbirds. We come down for 4 months to get out of the winter season.
Hi, I'm Marty, and we are stationary full-time. We go into the mountains in the summer and Florida in the winter.
Hi there, I'm Sandra, and I am currently living full-time in my 28-foot RV. However, I'm a newbie to the full-time, and my husband and I are potentially in a full relocation to Florida. We're not quite sure yet, but we've used the RV as a venue to travel previously for vacations and currently living in it full-time.
One of the hardest things to find when you are traveling is a nail salon.
That's true. Actually, a hair salon, nail salon, anything that's kind of personal, you know, you
Sure.
want to, you have your favorites, and you know, you got to try to do it on your own. I know Cheryl has it down pat, because Cheryl's husband is a pro at helping her with her hair color, and I love
He does.
that.
He does. He helps. He has helped bleach. He's helped color. I actually did do it professionally this December, after we got here. I do it professionally, like maybe like once, twice a year. But
So we're gonna
he's
put
very
out
helpful.
his schedule in case you need your hair done, and he happens to be in the same RV park. He's the only man I know.
Oh, my husband does mine too. He comes
Oh.
up the gray.
Right.
Mine absolutely will not do anything. I'm stuck with gray hair. It is what it is.
And I hate to say it, but there's a nail salon in every strip mall. I'm sorry, there is one in.
They're not all that good.
I'm
Not all of them.
I found one everywhere we went and didn't have any problems.
You read the reviews.
So I took mine
No.
off.
You don't even read the reviews?
They do it. I missed them, but
The best one I saw was in Tampa.
I go to one up in Gainesville Mall.
Yeah.
And actually,
So currently we're at Ocala North RV Resort in Reddick, Florida, which is between Ocala, Florida and Gainesville, Florida. We can go to either place. So what is the hardest thing that you guys have encountered, you ladies have encountered, going full-time? What's the hardest thing that you've come across? What you had to give up, or something different that you had to change or get rid of, or whatever? What is that? Who wants to answer that?
I'll answer that. So immediately my mind goes to the bathroom. I don't have anywhere near as much space as I used to have, and I'm not going to lie, the lighting in my bathroom is terrible. So when I see some of these new RVs that are on the lots and they have the backlighting, I'm so jealous. Not that I need to fully see things, but when you're putting makeup on, it's kind of hard to see what you're doing.
That's important. No, it's important.
I think one of the things with me was when we first started full-time is I thought, oh, I'm going to have all this room. And I took all my totes and I was like, I'm going to need this, this, and this, and this. And then when you get it in here, it's like, oh, I don't need that. This has got to go. I don't have enough room for this. And so you have to give up a lot of your comfort zone in some areas and then you have to learn to live by what the room you have.
Yeah.
So it's been
Well, the
challenging.
room and the weight.
And and then there's also too when you stop somewhere and you're like, I haven't touched that in a year. That's gotta go. So and you sit there and think of there's so many little things that you do need in life.
I also think the
There's
opposite
a lot you
too,
don't.
that I realize I have all this stuff and then I don't even use half of it. And I've been in this RV. I could use everything in my RV and everything in my house. I don't even need.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I have so much stuff and things that I feel attached to, but really, I don't even need them.
We have a huge RV. And I have literally a walk-in closet in addition to dresses and
Now she's just
and there is so much in our closets, clothes, that has not been touched. And I look at what's in there. But although I did downsize from 3,500 square feet to 15 to the RV, but that still wasn't, downsizing was not the super hard part. For me, the hardest part was lack of continuity when we traveled all summer. I was so used to, I had a friend who lived like a block and a half from where I did, that we saw each other, we did a lot of stuff together, and I could text her, Cindy, I want ice cream, let's go to Dairy Queen, and off we'd go. And there's not any, so when I come here, you guys from last year, and I was so excited because it's familiar.
Having
and
somebody close.
It's somebody that
somebody that's returning that
returning
knows you.
and
Right.
even just
Connection.
or even meeting somebody new, but seeing the same person 2 days later, you can pick up a conversation. And when we moved all summer, we moved a lot all summer, and everything was just, we did a ton of stuff, we saw a ton of people, had a great time, and it was great, but there was no picking up the conversation from 3 days ago, or what happened with, how's Lily, or Einstein, and so
I do agree with that. I think that even though you're surrounded by a lot of people, you can look out your window, you see people, all of that, there is a sense of loneliness that comes with the lifestyle.
Absolutely.
I will say just 7 weeks in, my husband and I left everything we knew, all our lives.
Right,
And it was our choice and we did it. We're glad. We think we're going to make something of it, and that's great. But I will say, even just sitting here with you ladies, it helps. Because I love my husband and we're best friends, but 7 weeks nonstop,
I need a break.
I need more wine, let me tell you. So it's really, really, just really making me feel very comfortable to know that other women, other people are going through the same type of feelings, whether it's, seasonal, part-time, whatever the case is. You do have a sense of loneliness.
We all can connect and talk about how we all feel the same way when it comes down to it.
Because when I lived at home, when we had the house, it was in a subdivision, and I could go, Lewis would be home on the weekends, but I could go 2 or 3 weeks and not talk to anybody except if I had to for work.
Now you have crazy neighbors that
And
force you to.
Yeah.
And they're really, really close.
And then yesterday, I almost went to the store with you. And then I realized last night when I got back home to my trailer, I almost went to the store with you.
Which is
Get
good.
out.
No, I cried because I was like, no, I should not have went to.
We spent too much money. Is that right?
No, we didn't go to the store.
No, because I don't go places.
Or you
She likes to
you
go
like
with
your
her
own
husband.
spot and your own-
Right? She goes with her husband
You're
every day.
comfortable with that.
That's what.
That's understandable.
Not having, I was accustomed to being able to walk. We had a grocery store that was walking distance from where we lived. I had a trail right behind, we were in a townhouse development, there was a trail right behind us that was one of the old railroad lines. We had restaurants walking distance. And so to get used to being out in the middle of nowhere and having to get in the car for everywhere we go.
Yeah.
So my goal, when we give this up, is condo, in a downtown.
You walked
I want to walk
distance
out.
of it all.
I want to walk out my door, and there's a bakery over there, and there's a pizza parlor over there,
And a distillery
and there's a distillery over there,
So
and
you do feel like that you're going to go back to a different lifestyle.
we're contemplating that maybe one more year. We picked we're working on next summer's, and we have most of it booked, and we actually just narrowed down the final month and a half or so of where we're going to go and how long we're going to spend there.
Okay, but
and then-
when you go to the condo, are you still going to have an RV?
Probably not.
Not at all.
Probably
You're
not.
done. You've traveled all, you've seen it all, you're done.
I'm going to get back on a cruise ship.
Oh, there you
Nice.
go. I think that's
Get
a
back
key.
on the
You know,
that's
there's
a
people
that's
who
a
live on
very
cruise ship.
that's a very interesting key right there to talk about. Maybe even in these sessions, the idea that chapters change.
Yep.
Chapters change all the time. I mean, you go from maybe you did this with kids at tenting, right, originally, and then you moved to the pop-up, and then the kids went away. Now you got the bigger RV. Whatever the case was, it's kind of interesting to me. Maybe we need to call this women therapy sessions. I'm not sure. But it's like just that idea of like, you go through different chapters,
Yeah.
and just like she's saying,
We never owned an RV. I
Yeah.
camped. My parents had campers when I was little. We had the first one, the pop-ups that had absolutely nothing in them. I mean, nothing. They had a small Class C was the last one they had while I was still at home. But Kevin and I never had an RV, and we jumped in to 41 feet,
That's crazy.
and it's
I
like,
love it.
holy crap.
Denise, you've been awfully quiet.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Well, Randy and I actually didn't do a lot of camping when our kids were little. But we did have a tent. We started with a tent. Then we went to a pop-up, which I dearly loved. The only
You
problem...
can go more places in a pop-up.
Yes, you can. We
Everywhere.
could pull it with his little truck,
Yeah.
and it was so cool. But the maintenance of getting it up and
Yeah.
down was just over. Yeah,
Because back then they were manual.
yeah, they were manual. We didn't
manual.
have sense enough to put an electric motor on that lift thing. But then we got a Class C, which we came here with the first year, and we decided that if we were going to spend any length of time, we needed something a little bit bigger.
So, what is the hardest thing you have encountered about going full-time for those of you who are full-time or most time or, half-time or anytime, whatever? What's the hardest thing about doing it?
Getting rid of things you collected.
Like
Chickens.
statues?
Little glass chickens.
How many did you have, Marty?
I had like 100 of chickens.
She showed us her pictures yesterday.
Yes.
well, Marty, I have
And-
to tell you, I'm really happy right now because I thought you meant real chickens. And if you told me you had 100 chickens in your camper right now, I would be nervous.
No, I think I have maybe 5.
Okay,
But they're not real.
That's
They're
good.
statues.
good.
Candy dishes.
Do you have
Oh, that's
candy in
nice.
them?
And some of them are salt cellars.
But do they have candy?
No.
Oh, so there's no candy. So we're not going over
They
there
came
for
with
candy.
candy. Candy. Your grandma didn't have one sitting on her Curtis Method's TV.
Probably.
With
I
circus
peanuts
in it.
I
or
remember
something.
the bluebirds of happiness. I don't remember the chickens like that.
Do you know what do you know what chickens are?
So what about you?
Me, the hardest part? Well, I'm only like 4 months, so I'm
But
an only
that's still
child.
hard.
So I have like my mom. That's hard for me. My kids are away at school, but they're home, so I kind of have that I miss.
So they're all in college.
Yeah, so they're all away and stuff. So I'm not. They don't even really talk to me when I am there, but I keep thinking they need me. But so that I find the hardest. Or like you said, the connection with my friends at home, and then they go to different things, and you're not invited. So then you're kind of on the outs when you get in, when you come back. But I've met so many closer friends. I found a lot too, even just RVing. Like so many nice people I've met, and just great connections that we've met with people. Like we met a couple last year in Wellington, and they live in Maine. We went to Maine for the summer, went to visit them, and like they're like one of our best friends now. And it's just crazy. And I've only known them for 1 year, so I feel very close with them. We talk all the time. So that part I really do enjoy.
Well,
And,
I
like, meeting
think-
you guys, like everybody just even here. It's
Yeah,
so
everybody
nice
in this room.
that you've met. Like, and it's only been I've only been here since the end of December.
Right.
Well, and I know one thing that Jason says is, you know, we had a lot of friends at home, but we've had so many more friends on the road.
Yeah.
But not friends that we need to not see again. Friends that we plan to see down the road.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to go to Angie's house before they sell.
Better hurry.
That's what we said too.
I'll have a for sale sign up by the time we get home.
And we know where to find Marty in the summer, North Georgia.
It's so many. That's the thing. You have the connections where okay, I can meet up that person here. I can meet
Yep.
up that person, or maybe in 2 years. Oh, are you going to be at this park? We text you. Hey, Julie, you're going to be here. You're going to be there, and then we can meet up. So
Right.
those are things that you would never experience if you didn't do it either.
Well, because people in homes, I mean, yes,
I
when we
didn't-
lived in a home, we knew our immediate neighbors and we
Yeah.
all did stuff. But other than that, you could walk around the neighborhood and people don't come outside anymore.
Right. I live
People
in a
don't know their
condo.
neighbors.
I was gonna say,
oh, you
I
lived in a condo.
I live in a condo and I don't know all my neighbors.
I was going to say, I lived in a townhouse complex, and in winter in upstate New York,
Yeah, no one came
nobody
outside.
leaves their house. You might see them in spring and wave out and go, I'm glad you're alive. Great. See you in the summer. Right? And unless you have a dog even, you're not going to go out. And you know,
Right,
maybe
why
you're
would you?
exercising. Oh, wink, wink, nod, nod. But, you know, if I'm walking my dog, I'll consider that exercise. But, yeah, it's unless you really are putting yourself out all the time. And I found that when I had my son, I had kids, that usually connected me with
Yes.
the community much
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Now that I'm an empty nester for quite a few years, it's like, oh, I've lost that connection of making a friend through, other kids' moms or anything like that. So I think it's really cool. So I have to say, Julie and Marty did me a favor on New Year's Eve night, I guess you would say. My husband and I were out by our fire
All by yourselves.
all by ourselves, which is fine. But they came through and said, "Hey, can we walk through your campsite?" And I was like, "Please do." And it was great.
The reason we had to walk through her campsite was
We were lost.
We were lost.
And we knew if we got through the site, we knew what was on the other side, but we didn't know how to get around.
Right. But I'm so thankful for that, because
Yes.
a lot of times it does take, if you are an introvert and you're not normally going to go to your neighbor and start talking to them, and you don't want to invade other people's space too. Sometimes
I mean,
quite
we
frankly,
did,
people
but
don't want to be
it was
talked
New
to.
Year's Eve, so nobody
Right.
cared.
I love that. No, cheers to
Totally
that.
invaded your space.
You said that too, like that. I noticed I'm much more quiet
Yes.
than my partner. And he'll go and talk to everybody. I'm like saying, don't bother, then don't, But at least then he meets people where I'm like, ooh.
And then you can be like, hi,
Yeah,
on
you
the
guys
other
are
half.
I know, yeah.
I was like,
I know. So that's great. For sure.
just let me stay inside and just
Until we text you and say, come on, you're going somewhere.
yes. But Lois has to go too.
But you're very social too. Yes. So that helps.
I've never met a stranger.
Maybe that's a good question to go
My
around.
husband's filming and he's laughing, so I can't look at him.
There you go.
Okay, so what is the craziest thing that's ever happened to you while traveling in an RV? I know you have some stories.
I have a really good one. I guess you would say mine is crazy, maybe not in a great way. I guess I would say that. And I don't want to be a downer, but but when we first started even traveling part-time for vacations, of course you're in vacation mode. It's going to be fun. Everything's going to be wonderful, right? I think it may have been our second or third year traveling from upstate New York down to Myrtle Beach in July. And those roads are hot. So we, as much as you check those tires and you do everything maintenance-wise, things still happen. We had a blowout of one of our tires. It took half our RV. And it was on the I-95 up in upper part of North Carolina, almost to Virginia. And we were playing the radio. We're having a good old time. Everything's good. Our vacation was done. Everything went great. We're on our way home, and we still have 10 hours to go. And people are waving at us, and we're like, "Hi!" guess they like us. Didn't realize that half of our RV had flown off on the highway.
Oh my God.
I pray nobody got injured behind us. We don't think anyone did, but we were waved over. We pulled over. My husband was right about to jump out on the driver's side, which I quickly said, please don't.
Yeah.
You will be killed immediately.
Right.
So I jumped out on the passenger, you know, and I'm not an expert on tires or anything, but when I walked around the side and looked, I went,
like there was no
there
tire.
there was no tire, there was no nothing.
So you don't have to be an expert to know.
Right. And I got back in, and I will tell you.
pressure guide will be your
So
friend.
we had TMS. It never
TPMS.
TPMS, whatever. It never went off. Nothing.
Wow.
Nothing.
Wow.
And we never even felt it. It was a travel trailer, which you think you would feel.
Oh, yeah, you
we
definitely
felt
think.
nothing.
Wow.
And so when I
Y'all
got
were
back,
jamming to the music.
right, and it's 105 degrees on the highway that day. And I'm thinking, you know, of course, I'm not going to lie, I'm, you know, high strung, emotional, and I'm going, oh my gosh, the end of the world. And my husband's very laid back. He just kind of went, I'll call good Sam. You know? And I'm like, okay, but, you know, and my head goes, you know, I go through all the equations of, oh, this is terrible. And immediately my brain went to, are we done RVing? Like, I don't know why I go there, but it's like that black and white. Are we done RVing? This is terrible. And he looked at me and said, why would we be done? It's a tire. And I'm thinking,
But your brake
okay.
wasn't destroyed then.
Well, half of it was, it spent the rest of the summer in the shop. It was, I think we had, you know, insurance and a lot of things kicked in, but it was very scary.
Yeah.
And
that
I
is
will
scary.
tell you, that was a big eye-opener for us to learn to really hunker down, pay attention. And not that we could have maybe even stopped it, but it was just the idea that this is serious business. People, we all see the pictures in the video every day of what happens out there. And I think for the most part, from what I've seen from all the community, people really do try to be safe, and you hope it never happens to you. I will tell you, my mother-in-law was very sick at the time, and she was back home, and my husband had called her, told her what happened. She was always scared for us. We got back home, and she had open arms and was ready to cry because she just was so scared for what happened. But I will tell you, it opened our eyes, and it made us better. Like, it made us better travelers in the sense of things will happen.
Yeah, things always happen.
It's that common phrase among all RVers that it's not if something happens, it's when something happens.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest takeaways for me, you know, even getting older and realizing things happen in life, it's how you deal with them.
Yeah.
Because I immediately was like, my hair's on fire. You know, my husband, thank heavens I married a very calm person. But he, you know, he just called the number. They came. Luckily, we inched our way on a shoulder to the rest stop, and they came within an hour, changed it out. I think we spent the night in between just to catch our breath, but it was just a very big eye-opener.
When we were setting up, when we got here, he didn't put the chock blocks under the tires first, and then it came off the truck and it just fell. And I was like, that's when I really started having a meltdown.
Yeah.
Because our house almost went in the ditch. So,
That'll do it.
And that's everything you have.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ours was actually this year coming down to, we renovated a whole trailer, so we'd never driven it. We don't know the weight. We don't know how, like, if the microwave's going to fall off the wall, nothing. So the first night we stop at like a rest stop and we go to turn on the heat because it's freezing. It's not working. So we're like, get in, we got like our track pants on, sweatshirts, like the dog doesn't even sleep with us and she's like right in the middle. It's freezing cold. And then we ended up stopping the next day because there was a little bit of sun and we're like, oh, let's just try to fix it. We fixed it and then it was fine. But I've never spent a night so freezing cold. Like we're like,
And you live in Canada.
and we live in Canada. So
Wow.
That says a lot.
yeah.
That does say a lot.
Did the camper keep all the cold in? I'm
Yes.
like, I don't know. It was freezing. But we haven't really traveled a lot. So for us, we did go out east this summer. And I told them to turn down a lot. And we ended up in the drive-through. He's like, I can't just like turn around in here. I'm
No,
like, you
you
can't?
can't.
Why not? Just turn around. He's like, you have to like pay attention where we're traveling and stuff. I'm like, okay, well.
You live and learn.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, live and learn.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think our worst experience was, well, we've had two. When we were out west in Idaho, we had a little hiccup on our front jack, and we had to travel all the way from Idaho to Tennessee.
It's a long ways.
I know. And we couldn't, every time we put our leveling jacks down, we were losing hydraulic fluid. So we had to keep a bucket up underneath our front jack. And then the other time was when we were leaving Florida on our way back home to Tennessee, and I love my man. He's so impatient sometimes. And I had messed up my back, and I was with a cane, and I had my cell phone trying to tell him how to back up. And we were in Rome, Georgia. And there was so many people that had parked around the site, and there was no one around to tell, so we could tell them to move your car so we can get back into the site. And I was sitting there trying to tell him how to go, and I'm like, Claude, go slow. I'm walking around with a cane and my phone, sitting there telling him how to back up. And the next thing I do is I heard an explosion, and it was our back window of our truck.
We just saw that on YouTube.
And we busted out the back window of our truck. So he learned one thing: patience.
So like just
Be
turn
very
Not listen to your wife.
Yes, that's it. Amen. Amen. Always listen to your wife.
Spotter, yeah.
Yes, your spotter is your safety net.
Your wife.
Because that is one thing we have learned in this lifestyle. It takes two. You know, we've got my job, his job, and then our job together. And we do that, and I am the navigator, he's the truck driver.
Yep.
When I'm the truck driver, he's somewhat of a navigator. I'll put it that way. I have to go on ahead and get the CarPlay and everything going because he's not a good navigator. But I do. I drive the truck and the rig. And because I don't want to be stuck somewhere where I am not able to pull this rig out if something happened to him.
Right.
And not just that, I will not let a man outdo me. I'm just that way.
Good for you.
Okay, hold on. I have to add something right now. I have to add that this is a room full of women, but we have allowed a man in the room because he's filming this. And do you know how hard it is for Jason not to react to all the stuff we're saying? And he was told, zip it. You are not part of this conversation. So anyway, his faces, I wish I could be filming his faces for y'all because it tells it all.
Do you drive?
I have learned to drive the 350. I've not learned to drive the house. I have this fear of it's my house. I don't want to be responsible for it.
I can drive the truck, but I don't drive either.
Right,
So I'm
exactly.
Very impressed with you.
Exactly.
Really.
Yes, that's pretty impressive.
Last year, when we left here, I drove part of the way home, and we were triple towing. We had our trailer with our golf cart on the back last year, and Claude drove. We stopped along the way, and we spent one night, and then we drove on up. And then when we got off 75, I drove all the way 411 into our campsite where we were staying.
Something happens to Kevin, there's going to be a big old for sale sign.
You're going to call somebody.
I'm going to
right?
call somebody. If I have to call somebody I will fly someone down to
Right.
wherever I am and
Right.
say, you're telling me I will drive the truck if I have to. My car, your car is my kind of car.
Well, I've decided already that I need to get Angie's number because
Right.
if anything happens to my husband, she's in.
I will call you. I will call you.
I drove my daughter and my stepdaughter, they showed horses. So I had to learn how to drive a gooseneck horse trailer with a a camping end on it. It had a tack room and all that. So I started learning how to drive with that in a mall in 12 o'clock in the morning when nobody was there, and we went and he showed me how to park, how to back up and all that, and we did it in an empty parking lot.
Well, the last person that asked me what would happen if something happened to Jason, what would I do? I said I told her I would call her husband. So apparently I have somebody else to call now.
Well, I already told Claude, if anything ever happens to me, this will be sold, the truck will be sold, the house will, if the house ain't already sold, the house would be sold, and this girl right here is going to get her a Class A, and I'm going on the road.
Nice.
I've always said in life, I want to.
Are you gonna get Claude in the
Yes.
little thing?
He'll be in the passenger
with you?
seat.
The
He's
dogs.
gonna be
And
in
the dogs that you have at home.
Oh yeah, my dogs are going to go too. Yeah. I have my dogs.
Something happens to Kevin, and we have had this conversation, and he has heard me say it on more than one occasion. Anything happens to him, round the world cruise, and and that's
Are you
where I'm
gonna-
going.
you get your
Does
money
he
back.
go in the ocean at that point?
He might, yes.
We'll see.
As former Navy, he would his perfect would be if, well, that's true, it is. There are
Your
rings
ring is
there.
there.
That's right.
That's a whole nother
That's a whole nother story. What would be the perfect send off for his ashes is on a naval vessel with with everyone in their whites.
Yeah.
And then you have the ashes and the smoke, and so nobody's whites are clean anymore by the time you get done with sending them. And the can. But yeah.
And the cannons.
I'm not sure exactly where we were, but we were headed out west, and they were doing road construction. Which, where are they not doing road construction? But they sent us off on, like, beside the interstate. And when we got to a certain point, there was no signs telling us there was a bump or anything, and everybody's just going Maine 35 miles an hour. I swear our tail end of our rig came airborne.
We have a Class A.
And we have a Class A. And our little Mini Cooper back there was probably doing this number behind us. And I'm like, oh my God, is the car even still back there? But I said they should have had a sign or something.
Yeah.
To warn people. But they didn't.
And the car ended up being okay.
And the car was fine. Of course, when we got out west, it was kind of temperamental with the altitude thing. It didn't like all that, but yeah. But it was fine, and we're driving it today.
So you
So
were
cars
airborne like in the movie RV when they were airborne?
Yeah, I'm serious. I had flashbacks to the vacation RV thing with Chevy Chase. Yeah.
Yeah. We have actually, two. Everybody always has a tire issue. Wasn't our tire, and we had literally, as we left here last year, we took the trailer in and it did its yearly checkup. So we're leaving. We literally just get onto the freeway, and the semi in front of us blows a tire. And it was,
And the tire comes off.
and it goes flying all over the place. So that was the whole scared thing. But the worst thing, and Denise knows about this one, the day we left here, we have 2 cats. Salem doesn't like to travel. Salem hates to travel. Salem
Yeah,
too,
Salem's a
yes.
cat.
Salem's a cat. She decided that if she would go, we have the storage under the bed. If you go in the side and back, you can get behind the storage and you can't get to them at all.
Oh, nice.
So we had to tear out the inside, the back wall of the storage under the bed to get to her. To get her into her carrier, and then had to, when we came to we kind of like nailed it back up there before we left here.
So she couldn't go back in there?
So she could, so then we had to, there's stuff shoved into both sides so that she can't get around. She tries to go and hide right by it, but you can reach her from
she's
under
scared
bed.
to travel
know
there.
she was there? Like,
No.
So you're looking all over.
Looking all
It
over.
was kind of hilarious because
It was,
you,
well, yeah, it
you,
was.
could, you could hear her
saying a
outside
lot
the
of
camper.
naughty.
making
I was
all this-
probably saying a lot of
Not nice things.
yeah,
Not nice
not
things.
really nice things. But Salem does not like to travel. She goes when we on our travel days. She's in her carrier, and she expresses her displeasure loudly through the entire trip. If we're on smooth roads, it's not so bad. She gets kind of lulled into being quiet, and then all of a sudden you'll hear meow, like I'm still here. If we're on bad roads, I-10 Louisiana, constant the entire drive.
Oh,
Yes, my husband has said MPH, which is normally miles per hour, is now meows per hour.
Yes.
Yes. Do you have a cat
Yes.
too?
I have three.
Oh,
Three cats and a puppy. And
puppy?
yeah, 9-month-old Havanese puppy.
Oh, he's
And
cute.
He's adorable, but he's a wild one.
Hyper, yeah.
Yeah, he's very hyper.
cute.
And our cats had never traveled, but they're old, and we didn't want to leave them or move them or anything. And we thought, well, let's try it. Let's see what happens. We are daring, let me tell you. I don't know. People have said to us, "Oh, you're brave." I'm borderline brave / stupid. I don't even know. I don't know. But yes, the two of them traveled very well. We had them in crates in the truck with my husband. I followed behind in the car with the puppy in a crate. The puppy slept all the time. I played the radio. I had a great time following. Yeah. Meanwhile, my husband's towing a trailer and the cat's going meow, 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 meow. And you're like, he got here and he said, my nerves are shot from that cat.
Did you say sorry about your luck? We had fun.
I know. I said, he slept the whole way, so we're good.
I never took my cat RVing, but when we had to take her to the vet or something,
Yeah, they meow crazy. Yeah.
Her voice would change. She'd be like, this meow, meow. And then you put this,
Yeah.
I'm like, who is this cat? I'm like, holy.
Yes. Yeah, so we're learning RVing with cats right now. And
So fun.
it's tough because, quite frankly, I don't know. Years ago, I had said, we started out, we had one dog and then we had one cat and it kind of grew. And now I'm like, okay, I'm like one, cat short of like hoarding here. This is insane. So let's not do that anymore.
Okay, so we're going to ask one last question. Is it worth it? Whatever you're doing, whatever stage of RVing you're in, is it worth it? Do you love it? Will you keep doing it? I think we know your answer.
I think it's probably worth it. We're probably going to only do it for another year or so, but we did 18 states last summer. Saw every place we went. We kind of went do we want to live here when we're all done? And every place we went, literally, Kevin said, I could live here. And so it really didn't help, but we saw it done. We had a great time.
Well, we're just part-time, but we've done a lot of traveling. Like Cheryl, we were over the west part of the United States this summer, and it was great. But it took my husband 2 weeks to realize we're not coming home tonight. So after he got over that, it was wonderful. And I would just keep doing it. Take a section of the United States every summer and go visit and see what's out there. Because we've got a lot to see in this United States.
I don't care what we have to see. I just don't want to go. I want to go and set it down and leave it alone. And whatever's in that little vicinity, that's what I will go see.
I would definitely be doing this. This is something that I've always wanted to do. I want to see every national park that there is here in the United States. We were able to do all of Yellowstone and the Badlands and all that and stuff.
Kevin Costner.
No, I did not see Kevin Costner. But this is something that I've loved doing. And we're going to go back and sell the house. And we're going to go back and do it. And I'm just going to rip my old man out to mow yards. So,
I'm really jealous. I'm jealous of that you had the house because we were going to come visit, and now we can't visit now.
Well, we'll meet up somewhere.
Of course,
we'll meet
yes,
up
absolutely,
if we sell the house.
absolutely.
Yeah. Is it worth it? Quite frankly, I'm still new to it. However, from the vacations and all of that I've done in the past, I will tell you, I think I have gypsy blood. Like, I'm not kidding you. I would live in a van and travel this
Down by the
country.
river?
Down by. I have said that. I will live in a van down by the river and be just happy. I really love the minimalist lifestyle.
Yep.
I feel like when you put experiences over stuff.
Yep.
And not everybody's like that, and I understand that. But for me personally, I think it's the fact of meeting new people, seeing new things.
Yes.
I flourish as a person. My husband's a little different. He would like to set a little more roots, but I'm working on him, and I'm hoping maybe we work camp, even for a season, to try it out and see what happens. But we've uprooted, and we are missing home a little. I'm not going to lie. I think that's normal. But overall, when somebody said to me, "Would you sell your camper or sell your house?" I said, "Bye-bye house." So that was an indicator for us that we love the lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're new to it too. We just come and get out of the winter from Canada. I do want to travel a little bit more. I'd like to see more states. I'd like to do like hiking and just experience everything, and meeting new people I think is great. So we're definitely going to continue to do it, and hopefully just a little bit more. The only problem is the States. We can only stay so long.
Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you got something from this, and I hope these ladies gave you a different perspective on what it's like to be in an RV and full-time or part-time or whatever it is that we all do. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, we hope you find your next
Destination!
And living in the RV is sublime. Destination full time.